Hey everyone, and welcome back to Jaraci Cup 4. Now, I repented of my idea of only casting Group A because I heard that this is quite a slapper, so we're going to be jumping into Group C, I believe this is, with a game between FrostyTeeth and God Hates Weebs. I mean, just look at the players, you know this is going to be good. Now, we do have an info.txt. Oh my gosh, thank you. Although, actually, it's info.rtf. I don't know what Frosty was on, but that's okay. He declares Coalition first, Weebs is Soban, nothing terribly surprising here. That is going to be the same for Game 2. He picks the Boneyard, and then Weebs is going to pick Firebase Cruel. Now, I think both of these picks make some good sense. I don't think you want to play in a particularly close map against God Hates Weebs. You want some distance here, and so this is good for him, but I think Weebs is also pretty... God, that is... If you call him Weebs, that's offensive. But calling him God is not. Is also probably a good map for him. So I think that this is a pretty good pick-ban phase. I'm pretty happy with the logic behind the two players' choices here. I do also love to see some quick dropping from Frosty. Always a fan, as you know. Although... What's he doing here, though? Because here are 5 cells. And he's not building another until just now. He also has a little bit of an inefficiency here, so I praise the quick drop, but it's actually kind of hurting him a little bit. He ought to just grab this guy, double tap you, and then you'll be fixed. If you watch me, I spend a lot of time doing that in the early game. A bit less in the late game, of course, you can't worry about it so much, but... Hold up, no. Is he trying to rush to fighter and gunship first? Dude. No, it's gonna be AV Fab. Alright. Of course, we know we're playing against God Hates Weebs, you know what I mean? We know what strategy this guy likes to pull off. So the question is, are we gonna go for a blind counter, or are we gonna, you know... We're gonna play something a little bit different. Hold up, let me just make sure, DOK is yielding correctly. Yeah, it is. Right. I think the red guy is God Hates Weebs, by the way. So we know it's going to be something fighter and gunshipy. He goes with LAVs first, but first he goes 8 up. It's kind of weird. So he makes 8 salvagers, and then he goes for fighter and gunship after a couple of LAVs usually. So yeah, there's the tech. He's not going to be... Yeah, you never know what he's going to do. He's not going to be fleet capped for some time this way, so that's kind of nice. He can just keep spamming these things. I think carry production upgrade comes out sometime after fighter and gunship's already started. You don't really want to get that too early, I don't think, as Coalition. Even when doing LAV styles, I think it's more beneficial to have the LAVs out, but it's probably not a huge difference, to be honest. Probably going to get a little chewed up by that LAV there. Frosty gonna micro it, though. He's going to live. He's seen, I think, the important information, which is LAVs are out on the field, but we have AVs, we can counter that. Our opponent doesn't have a sport cruiser, and I think those two things ought to tell you, yes, it is going to be the typical build for my opponent here. So the question is, what do you do about it? I mean, really, the correct choice has got to be to tech missile batter here, right? If you didn't go for fighter and gunship already. But I don't really want to see that. I want to see something snazzy happen, you know what I mean? I want to see a hilarious game, so... I'm kind of encouraged by the fact that he hasn't started teching that yet. Instead, it's going to be a sport cruiser. He could get the anti-air upgrade, but that's not going to help him against bombers, right? The field is open. Anything could happen from here. I've heard this is quite a slapper. I better not be disappointed. Coalition would be better. Yeah, I would agree. Because what if you get... Yeah, exactly. What if you get rushed in the early game? Savon has the ALMs, but they are not nearly as good in the early game. Frankly, even late game, the turret is a massive benefit, right? Frosty gonna feel a little bit of pressure here, but he'll be okay. Yes, definitely. If you're gonna be launching air, you know, launching air and using it on like these units who are close to your base should be like one of those things you don't really want to do. But the AVs are in the field now. I mean, this is exactly, I think, why you've been thinking of switching to Coalition. Yeah. You know, I think you should. Savan is cool, but, like, you're not really playing to the faction's strengths here. I think, as Coalition, you'd have a much easier time at this. Because this is exactly what Frosty ought to be doing. Probably a smoke right here is good, actually. Block the carrier, but you can still shoot at that ALM. But he's fine. Like, he's doing damage to the eco here. He's just kind of chilling out. This is exactly what he wants to be doing. As for ALMs, I don't think they're going to do much damage here. You're You're probably better just using the power in weapons and just getting a bit more fire rate out, to be honest. But this is good though. It kind of stuns it into the jetpacks, but as you can see, that's not quite enough to kill it there. Carrier should finish it. Oh, that's unfortunate. There is damage going on the main, by the way, but it's not going to be as severe. But then again, this is God 8's Weebs we're talking about. I mean, one bomber comes out, that should be a dead SC, right? What's his money like, though? He just queued one, right? No, he didn't. Whatever he queued, he ought to cancel it. I think he needs that bomber instead. Well, I mean, he's got income. It's not like he's dead in the water here, but... Okay, there it is on the queue. So this should be a dead support cruiser for sure, right? yeah, same with Shrike. The thing about tournaments for us is that I think often the tournaments really are more of an excuse to play than they are, you know, like some kind of show of competitive supremacy. And so, like, that's not really too bothersome to me. Like, I like it when players are practicing between tournaments, but I mean, you know, you can't always have that. Missile batteries are on the way here. I'm thinking maybe Shrike could, or Frosty could try to save the support cruiser by like moving up to it and using heal, but I don't know. It's gonna be difficult either way. Correctly, not gonna use the bomb here. Obviously, like we said before, he just needs it here, and the artifact pressure is gonna be pretty good for him actually. I would have loved to see just some targeting jammers to kind of spammed onto this wreck, see if you can stop your opponent from using it. But that's definitely a me kind of move. I don't know if it's really even worth it. Lived. The boy who lived. Crazy. That's actually kind of surprising. It's sort of disappointing. Darn, there was just like one strike fighter. I'm sure he's one missile away from death here. Rip in pieces, mate. This AV here's still being annoying. I agree, though. AVs are not really doing much on the field here. That's where this one's headed, but it's too late, right? Definitely a second extraction will come out. But yeah, I mean, maybe Frosty's afraid there's more LAVs going to come into attack. After all, the support cruiser is quite low. I mean, you can understand the fear there, but... I mean, there's more proactive ways to figure that out, you know? Like, build another base runner. You've got the RUs for it, as you can see up here. In fact, he should probably go third carry production upgrade if he's floating this much. Although I don't know how consistent his production was. But, you know, just send out a probe, be checking out the map here, see what's going on. It's a fighter being built right now. Now, the support cruiser, I think, is heading back to try and heal this one, but that's probably forlorn, right? This bomber's ready to go. God 8's Weeb's not going to wait very long, I don't think, to launch this one. Does he launch both, though? That's the question. He probably will, but he needs to be careful, because that fighter really could get killed by these missile batteries here. AV is on top of the base runner here, so we should see a denial of future artifacts, at least for the time being. And the SC is getting healed, so this is good for Frosty. Honestly, this one strike fighter, I think it's probably best used here, although we were just talking about how you don't want to use your missiles there, but if there's already missile batteries up, you know. And I'll see it now. Ooh, I think you should push in. Coalition bombers are like unreal survivable, and I think he's actually going to be okay here. But he tends to be pretty good with air, but you know, we'll leave it to his judgment. Oh my gosh, he's a magician. I worship this man. Just get on your knees now. I mean, can you believe it? Like, Anyway, so he does get the SC finally. This is not terribly good though, because in the meantime, he's still being held back on his main. And his money is quite low. I'm surprised at that. Did he tech something else? That's a good point. They do have a huge vision radius, by the way, but they're also just... They're tasty, you know. Limit your opponent's air capabilities with them. Third SC is on... Or, yeah, that is actually third. I guess one of them died, but... Another SC is on the way here for FrostyTeeth. God 8's Weeb's gonna just kind of mosey on into his second patch here. He is behind. This is not, you know, game-breaking, but... It's going to be tough from him from this position, I think. We already have a lot of anti-air on the field here. I think, actually, as Frosty, I'm probably going to want a tech fighter and gunship now, because for what I've seen, missile batteries just don't make very good counters to bombers, to be honest. He's got 3 of them here, but the bomber, if it pushes in, it's still going to be able to hit on the main. You know, like, there's just no stopping it. If you get 2 of these bombers, you can be killing, like, every single salve on the patch. So, oh, BM dude, but I like it. So yeah, I mean, I think if I'm God, I'm gonna start. If I'm God, I'm gonna start building another bomber here. But, and then for Frosty, I think fighter and gunship's probably the right choice. As for LEVs, I'd be nervous because it kind of forces you to have your anti-air be a lot more proactive across the field now. Because if it's not with the LEVs, just a gunship will swoop in and just. He is building another bomber, by the way, so I like this. Base punter inventory coming in from Strike, okay, or Frosty. So he's gonna start making base punters, I think, try to use them as turrets. Actually, that's interesting. You know, I like it though. This could work. He doesn't have mag accelerators, so he doesn't really want to fight these. Rails from his opponent here, and that was a good move from God Hates Weebs. But then the Strike Fighter just kind of didn't shoot for some reason. I don't really know. He's kind of expecting it to fire 2 volleys there. It feels bad, man. That's okay though. Armor 2 gonna finish for Strike. Oh my gosh, for FrostyTeeth. You know what? Actually, there's no mag accelerator from God Hates Weebs here either. So. And why do I keep calling him Shrike? That's weird. Irregardless, we have 2 bombers out now. They're going to be launching at the moment. Now, I think 2 bombers is going to be able to kill some missile batteries and then head off, which is a really nasty thing to do to your opponent. But, yeah, I know we just have more being produced. I'm not sure if it's really terribly relevant. Although this anti-air turret post is kind of badly positioned. I think if I were him, I would try to take this out. Shrike versus Frosty, really? Is it in the next bracket? Man, I know the tournament better than even I think. Oh, you know what? This is actually clever from Frosty that he's teching armor before he techs rails because this affects actually also his missile batteries. I didn't think about that. Oh, well, who's Shrike against then? Anyway, oh, he's gonna dump it on the AAV there. Yeah, he probably just needs to dock now. These strike fighters really have no business being here unless they can just get one shot off. Nah, they take losses already. They don't kill this thing either. Unfortunately, this guy is just like marked for death. Ripped in pieces. Yeah, that wasn't the best bomber run there. Well, yeah, it is, isn't it? Shrike versus No Fun. Although, come on, we all know you're gonna lose to Frosty, or to Frosty, and then I'll lose to Frosty, and A-Game will lose to Shrike, and it'll be them in the finals, right? We all know. I mean, let's not even pretend like we're not aware of this. ACAA gonna finish here. This is probably a smart choice. Just get a little bit more anti-air out from the field. You know it's God Hates Weebs. He's gonna hard freaking commit. What I would like to see from him now, I think, is more LAV upgrades, but he's definitely in the right to be getting mag accelerator here. Like, I don't see what else you do. On Boneyard, though, you really kind of gotta head over to this hill, I think. Like, you need to push that way, because if you just push like this, you're gonna find yourself fighting under high ground, but he's got the numbers for now. So he can kind of make this work. He just needs to be careful about these missile batteries, which I think is definitely not what he's doing. Oh no, I can see where this is going. Yeah, there they are. Oh, ouch, man. These zero armor rails, they just get destroyed by that stuff. That could honestly be game right there. He does have respite though, right? He doesn't know about this AC, which is gonna hurt him a lot when it gets to the main. But this bomber is gonna be able to do damage to these missile batteries, right? Is it gonna live though? That's the question. Oh, it's not gonna live. Ooh, I don't know about sending the second one in then. I mean, maybe because you're gonna get some kills here. Maybe that'll soften up the defense. But this thing could die the same way. No, he's gonna get out, but he does lose a bomber for it. 3 strike fighters are feeling a little odd. I mean, every single unit on the field for Frosty right now, except for the stupid railgun, has anti-air. And we're gonna start taking AAVs to kind of cave into the pressure of these LAVs here, but the AC is in the hood. Just kind of chilling here. Definitely wants to move in, but this is gonna be like serious damage. Now the bomber can hit it for damage, but oh no. Oh, what the heck? Did you see that? Now Frosty asked me. He said he was playing the series and attack missile barrage didn't kill the ALM. But did you see that? It only fired like 2 missiles each. Like, it didn't fire the whole barrage. That's gotta just be a bug, right? But I don't know. Tell you what else is a bug though, is not moving this thing out. It's in vision radius, like God Hates Weebs knows about it. Like you just gotta, you know, you've got like you got a freaking sledgehammer. Okay, here we go. Now it's moving out. It's gonna get attacked by strike fighters, but I don't think that'll be a huge issue. The bomber's the real problem. Oh dear, that does a lot of damage. Rip in pieces, dude. That thing could have just killed this entire eco, but it just waited for way too long. Golly. Well, that sucks. It's probably okay, though. Now, I mentioned earlier I was worried about... am I calling him Strike again? I was worried about Frosty's commitment into Strike here. And I think it's because of, like, gunships and stuff like that. I still think that would be actually not a bad choice at all here for God Hates Weebs. He's going to go for battle cruisers instead. I don't really see what that counters on the field here. That seems like kind of an out-of-touch choice. I mean, it counters ACs, but you've only seen one of them. Your opponent's not really rebuilding rails, so I think he's got a bad read on like the situation here. Definitely needs to smoke. Smoke's not on. Gotta smoke it again. Smoke it again. This doesn't feel good. This doesn't feel good at all. Rail's gonna get run over here. We have damage 1 finishing for Frosty now, which is gonna be good. Oh no, the AV with smoke left died. This SC is gonna be killed. You gotta smoke. You gotta smoke. No, keep smoking. Smoke again. Look, you know what I'm saying. Okay, but this is a good time for the bomber. Look at these juicy LAVs just chilling out here. SC does go down. I still think gunship is good here. Just move to Turkey, man. You can smoke everywhere. They just don't care. And everyone in Turkey's like, man, I want to quit smoking, but they don't, so. 2-1? Dude, Turkey is like perfect weather. Are you kidding? Bomber is going to launch now. Maybe he's seeing this weakness, but this is a bit of a trap. It's a trap! If the bomber flies over here, I think it's going to die on its return route. But maybe he's asking for it. Doc, 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 doc. Didn't do as much damage as I thought. It's actually going to die for it anyway. Ah, shoot. They were juicy, but like, look, 4 of them lived. Tricky. A little bit earlier, and that would have been insane, like when the LAVs were here and the AC was like back there. And now Frosty's starting up with the rail spam here, and I think he's probably gonna have a good time with this. Mag Accelerator just now starting. That's actually really good because he hasn't really been in any rail fights yet. And the anti-air turret posts are just, they're doing good. I guess actually it's more missile batteries. I thought he had a bit more of them on the field, but I mean, I feel like he knows God Hates Weebs is difficult to pin down, and he's just, you know, he's putting lots of assets out there to fight it. It's working. He never can, man. It's his kryptonite. Now this guy probably wants to back away. This is probably good use of the overcharge. Yeah, I think he's done it. It increases the armor a little bit, but it also just gets you out of there faster. But God can't fight this rail force, not yet. I mean, maybe with BCs, but that's even a maybe. BCs typically are not terribly good against rails. They're actually kind of countered by them counterintuitively. He's taking the fight kind of okay, because I feel like... Well, you're right, but you know, this god can't. He's just like a demigod. He's kind of a god in training. Yeah, Rill's getting picked off. These guys turned out to be in a good position, but I think they still were a little bit better up on this hill here, but it's doing just fine. Carrier, I think, is moving out here a little bit, but that's probably not going to end well. This is probably the end of the game right here. Frosty, by the way, is stacking a lot of money. I guess he just doesn't care anymore. Strike Fighter actually manages to get another kill, but it does get smitten out of the air. And a pity, that thing was like a lieutenant captain, I think. AC healing in a bit of an inopportune time, but it's probably going to be okay. There's no power and armor here. Like, if Frosty set down a turret, that would actually, like, seriously contribute to the DPS against this carrier, which is pretty interesting. One of the rare things about Saban in patch. Now the BC does pop, but armor's not powered here. I think he needs to be powering everything down, just get it all in the armor, see if he can keep himself alive. AV should have been with the carrier too, they can maybe use smoke and help him a little bit. But it's not to be so. And that is the end for God Hates Weebs in this map. He's gonna go down, and we'll be entering game 2, 1-0 for FrostyTeeth. I'm happy he didn't just blind counter, to be honest, because that would be really boring games, even though it's obviously the right move. But it's more exciting this way, you know what I mean? And the AVs are still really powerful. God hates Wii. I'm fiddling around with a can of compressed air. It's a little broken. Oh well, map 2 gonna be Fire-Based Krill. God Hates Weebs pick, of course. This one works well to his strengths in a lot of ways, I think. I mean, it's big. Usually, for his strategy, like, usually for air, we like a big map. They're very fast, you know, this kind of helps. Hard to spread out the anti-air and get a good hold on things. But for his bomber play, I think actually a tight map is pretty good. When it comes to, like, sniping PCs and stuff, there's less time for them to be scouted, less time for a reaction to come out. And also just a lot less distance for LAVs to travel to get the damage in. And because he goes heavy on the LAVs, he usually has them in a pretty good position in the early game, like around here. But this map, I think he really is good at because of the way that the line of sight blockers work around here. And he can get up there, he can tap your base just a little bit. That's all he needs. And you're gonna start taking some heavy losses. So happy to see this map in the pick. I think it was a good choice. You know, I'm always about these like kind of serious mentality things about these like map picks and whatever. So I appreciate it when other players are also paying attention to that. This time, base runner inventory is going to come out from FrostyTeeth. This is something a bit left field. He cancels it though. He's unsure. I sense the hesitation in him. If he's not going to get that, he should probably just get LAV Fab and send out the probe. But we'll see what he does. He does send out the probe. He's still sacking like 500. Huh? The freak? Well, maybe he's just relying on the fact that he's not going to be attacked in the early game, which is kind of true, right? We know God Hates Weebs is going to come in kind of late early game, early mid game with the LAVs and try and get his damage done, so he's kind of safe to do this. But it's kind of weird, right? I'm not sure what exactly... Whoa, big yawn. I'm not sure what exactly the idea here is. He does have the turret, of course, so he's got a nice defensive ability on his main. Carrier, of course, holding the second. But this is something I've never seen before. Well, the problem is that here you're not dealing with... Here you're not dealing with defending a typical push, it's more like you can't even let them damage you, you know what I mean? Because once he damages the SC, then it's gonna die. There's also, of course, the worry that the bomber will just come in and smite the turret, and then the LAVs can just, you know, fly in there if he sees that there's no other defense on the field. But it's, at any rate, I feel like this is gonna work because it's gonna hit too late. Base runner inventory does get teched. He's gonna build one now as well, so that's kind of interesting. Yeah, like, oh geez, how much delay is there? Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm trying to look for, oh, I see what you mean, I see what you mean, okay. I was, like, trying to look for, like, latency options and whatever. Well, based on inventory's done, he's going to take advantage of it. Anti-air turret post comes out immediately. I think, you know, I think I'm actually going to say this is a read from Frosty. And it perhaps it's not going to be correct this time. In fact, oh my gosh. Is God Hates Weebs chain? No, he's already gotten fighter and gunship. It will be. Maybe he's correct then about this. The read, though, I think, is that, you know, my opponent always likes to mix it up, where the second game he goes gunships, so this time let's get ready for it with base front inventory, get down the turret post immediately. And if that's true, this is actually kind of a smart thing to do. LAVFab just now finishing at like the 5-minute mark, or 4-minute mark, that's quite rare. And immediately it's Sport Cruiser anti-air. Yeah, I think he's expecting a gunship here. It's gonna be Tech Bomber Fab though. But this is okay, it still works for that scenario too, right? Obviously he's gonna have a lot of anti-air, so enough to stop everything that God Hates Weebs wants to do? That I don't know, but I guess we'll find out soon. Railfab gonna start up for him now. God isn't really stacking, which is good. I wish I could see his production queue. He should be making LAVs right now until Bomber finishes, and then just kind of stacking them up here. But yeah, the problem here, I think, is kind of just what I foresaw if Frosty doesn't make any units. But here, okay, he's queuing up LAVs, so it doesn't matter. But I was going to say, like, God can just kind of come in, kill the turret, and then he'll show up with these LAVs, and there's no response. That's not going to happen to him, though, I don't think, so that's good. Early artifact pressure is starting up again, so he's going to get the second artifact out almost certainly. I don't see that being stopped. And then if God has the money for it, I would say he should immediately start teching Assault Pack as well, or maybe Armor, but we'll see. No, he doesn't, because he can double build Bombers. I think he's got the production upgrade, so... I think. It's a little hard to tell in patch, isn't it? But... Probe gonna be killed here for Frosty, I think. Yeah, it's gonna go down. But I think he saw everything he needed to. I mean, he knew there was air for like a while before that. Obviously, he's blind countering it, so that's not a surprise to him. Ah, you know what? This is actually a ground turret. This is not an anti-air turret. Greetings! I think it should. I think it should. We haven't seen people try that before. There's always a risk, I guess. He could mix it up and go Strike Fighter this time, but I don't think he will. Yes. 900, no armor. It should be the same for every faction. Here comes the bomber. Now, okay, this could still work. There's two bombers. This is gonna work really nicely, actually. Yeah, there's only two LAVs, so if he knows about it, which I'm not sure if he does, but if he knows about it, I think the best move here actually is gonna be bomb the two turrets and then have the LAVs fly in and do their thing. A targeting jammer. Okay, this is really smart. This one will not get away, but he will get away with the other one. One of the turrets is that's unfortunate. He kind of waited too long. Oh no! Frosty with the clutch turret deploy is actually going to kill the second bomber too. These guys were late on the charge as well. But they will get the kill, but that's a lot of damage to God Hates Weebs' side. He's going to take straight into BCs. Don't worry guys, I got this. Oh no, I don't think it worked. I think the base runner had to come in with the LAVs and then set down the jammer, and the LAVs are there right immediately, you know, and then they kill this turret as fast as possible, and then they kill this turret, which should now be shooting, because this one will probably take out the targeting jammer. And then our LAVs are going to live here. We kind of have free reign to do whatever we want, and Frosty will set down turrets, but we can probably stop him. The bomber deaths, I'm not sure if that could be stopped. You can't really micro so well coming from this angle, because you can't give him move commands over here, so... Probe gonna go down for God Hates Weebs, I think. He might survive. Yeah, it'll survive here. Oh, but it's gonna fly into the base runner, so that'll be a dead probe. As if he needed any more handicaps, am I right? And Frosty going for BC Fab himself. Oh, jeez. I love it. I love it. Now, he's very ahead this game. This time, like last time, he was pretty ahead, but this time he's very ahead. He's got the army for sure, which is what he didn't have last time. God Hates Weebs had kept his bombers alive. This time it will not be so. They're getting up to 3 base. Kind of similar timing, although Frosty had been mining off of it for earlier. He doesn't have the lead on BC Fab, but he does definitely have, you know, the better army on the field. He's got the base runners out, which are honestly doing a lot of damage for him already. I would, yeah, set down a turret. He's going to do it there. But God Hates Weebs, who never learns, which is what we love about him, is going to be rebuilding the bomber. And that could be problems for him. We'll see how this goes. But the AAVs are doing good for him. Probably wants to send this one out here to just kind of inhabit the back lines. Don't let him extract, but it doesn't look like he's moving, so that's not going to happen, I don't think. Desperately trying the jetpack game to try and hit these LAVs, but he's missing. Oh, they do? Oh yeah, don't they do like 1700 damage? I mean, what I noticed for sure, even before the nerf, was that if you dodge, they don't kill them in one hit. Oh, they have damage modifiers. Okay, I didn't think about that. Okay, so in that case, dodged salvagers will live, but undodged ones won't. AV gonna go down to the turret. That's always a little unfortunate. Easy to miss that kind of thing. But the real problem, I think, is that, you know, he's losing a lot of salvagers here. Or at least he had lost one already. And this AV's not actually shooting. Okay, these guys are actually countering the damage with heal, so maybe that's not true. If that's true, we should probably test this. Because I have a feeling they probably will, but I don't know. It's hard to say. I think BC is on the way here. Yeah, he has triple production upgrade, so BC is actually probably on the way right now. Frosty stacking a lot of resources as usual. Probably something he wants to work on, but his army is still decent. BC is going to come up on the queue for him now. He could queue another one if he had another... I'm spamming the D button, I don't know what it's called. Log module, yeah. He could have another BC coming out right now. Strike Fighter gonna harass the turret. There's actually two base runners here though, so fairly decent chances he's not gonna be able to survive if he like keeps trying to kill that thing. But if the bomber comes out here, this army for Frosty in the middle could probably die, and that would be really good actually. That would kind of stop the field control that Frosty's got right now. Needs to be careful with this Strike Fighter. I think he sees it. He's gonna live this, right? I think so. Yeah. Bomber comes in, should just be a direct hit on these rails. Yep, takes him down. Not quite dead, but like very low health here. That's of course owing to Frosty already having armor 3 on these units, which is quite early of a timing to get that. But he can push this with almost anything now, so I would just push that, see if you can weed out these turrets. And you're gonna have a good time if you can just stop your opponent from having the field. Kannst du immer die Tür schließen? Ja, danke sehr. Ich will nicht, dass es zu laut für die anderen ist, ne? Mag coming out from Frosty. Pretty late timing again. Last time that made a lot of sense because he was also making missile batteries, but this time I think it makes a lot of sense because he's only fighting AAVs here. There's not really any rails until the sub-on BC comes out. Gentle German cat. This Space Runner gonna die? No, it'll live. It looks like this guy got targeted for some reason. I don't know actually if God's Weebs can assail this point, to be honest. Yeah, it's only 2 rails. He can probably take it. He should push forward then if he thinks he can take it. But he definitely needs to be targeting the right units here. Do we have SCA? Yeah, we do. So these strike fighters here are not going to be happy with what they find. They're going to want to just back away. And they do. But the bomber here could do a lot of... Oh no, don't go back in there, don't go back in there. It's risky times, man. When you blob up, SCA does like extra damage, I think, to blobbed units. It has like a bigger area of effect. Ooh, I'm so nervous here. Because the base runner is chipping in for damage too. He's really pushing to get as much as he can out of these units, but this is too far. They're going to start dying. Bomber does come in though. That's going to hit for good damage. That's a good bomb. The BCs are doing work. Now, Frosty had... Oh my gosh. How did it get here? Oh no. That's going to be interesting. I don't know what happens now. One of the BCs died. Should have popped smoke there. That's kind of an elementary mistake. The bomber. What? Oh, he built another bomber. Wow, that's really good. Okay, so this BC is going to do damage, but it's not going to kill the carrier. Okay, never mind. This is totally fine for... This is totally fine for our chap. And the BC gets killed by an AEV. Look at this. Captain. All hail Captain Kevin, who somehow used the chain gun to kill a BC. I don't even know. What a freaking legend, man. Let me tell you, if Frosty for some reason had 2 bombers in the hangar, this carrier would be dead. Freaking Captain AAV. That's not every day you see that. What does it even give him? Hold up. You know, those aren't inconsequential benefits if they were applied to the whole army, but it's not like this really does much. Plus 10% damage, that's pretty relevant actually. And he gets that at office for a while. Reload, we don't really care. The vehicle hull and armor is what's good here, but I mean, you'd have to get your entire fleet vetted up to captain before you could really benefit from that, eh? 2 BCs and an SC gonna move out here. They're followed by 2 base spreaders. I think that's actually very wise. We know the bomber did a lot of damage to us before. There's gonna be 3 of them now, even. But if Frosty's got an SC, which has anti-air, and he can put down 2 turret posts, you know, we've got good chances now of killing bombers on our runs here. By the way, these strike fighters, they can just target the SC. That's probably the right move here. Instead, we risk losing one. Oh gosh. I'm so nervous whenever people do this with air units, but they're gonna kill the SC. So this is looking good here. Now the question, I suppose, is which is better then, huh? Coalition BCs or Savan BCs? I don't really know. If the Coalition ones can get the jump on them, they're obviously gonna win. But the Savan ones, if they sit up on this hill, they should have the easy advantage on the way up, right? We've got him in vision thanks to our bombers. We have... Oh, there's 3 bombers. They can just snipe BCs at this point. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O. Huge stream of LAV is going to be coming out across the field, by the way. And these base runners did not actually go for anti-air turrets. So instead, they're going to try to extract with them. So 1 BC is going to go down to the bomber. Second one's at like half HP. But this is, I think, the real problem, actually. Once he gets to 4 artifacts, then you got to be really nervous about it. Now, can he stop it somehow? Yeah, okay, no, he's got 5 strike fighters. So if he sends the strike fighters out, he should be able to kill at least one of these things. I don't think he's really thinking about it, though. I don't think his attention is there. It's focused somewhere else on the map. That's gonna be really unfortunate, because once we get to 4 artifacts, you know, not only is Frosty's carrier really scary here, it's on power 3 pretty soon. But, you know, we have so much artifact pressure now, we can't lose the middle of the field, so this is going to be pretty rough. That being said, if God Hates Weebs builds 2 base runners all of a sudden and does like a double extracted zone, I mean, that could be pretty good too. He's got field control right now. Now, he has AVs too, but I think he needs more of them. These are... No, they're not upgraded, really. So that's good. Ooh! Juicy hit right there. Although he needs to be careful about losing this thing. Oh gosh! Oh no! That's too bad. But he needs some kind of support here. The support cruiser needs to run toward them. He needs to throw a targeting jammer on top of it. You know, do whatever you can to keep that thing alive. Get AAVs into the back lines. He must be mined out here. That's why he's pulling off. But no, this SC, I think it's gonna die. Any barrages? Oh yeah, he's got 2. Yeah, it's gonna die for sure. I mean, if it doesn't die to the LAVs, it's gonna die to the barrage. Yeah. Well, that's unfortunate, but this support cruiser here wasn't doing terribly a whole lot, so maybe this is okay. Alright, so 3 BCs now. We're gonna hunt down this SC. That's good. Oh my... Oh, hit it. Come on, you know you want. Yes! Good damage there. Weakens all those LAVs. Does a lot of damage to the base runner too, and I think that's gonna become pretty relevant here. He's got air superiority right now, like there's no anti-air against him. So I think he's just got to be constantly launching against these units which are out here. This is what he's got to deal with right now. This is good though, that he's got AAVs in his base, and he's making a concentrated push, and it's not going to be one that Frosty has an easy time responding to. We do have a nuke coming out. You're going to have to be careful about the nuke, but... Let's see, what's going on over there? Yeah, this is what I was talking about, though. He's got good coverage for this. We just need to kill these base runners, and I think not launching the air here is probably a mistake. It's just kind of sitting in the hangar, you know. We need to get damage done on these base runners, stop them from extracting, because, you know, it's pretty clear Frosty's going to move out with BCs, try to get his carrier here. He's just going to make a play for that 1 more artifact, and you got to stop this, so. Far too passive, though. Far too passive. I mean, yeah, you're gonna kill the eco. This is good, but I mean, if you don't have something to stop this, which could just end the game right here, you know, what are you doing? Me too, but I mean, they still happen in patch. It's just, like, the damage hasn't been nerfed too much in that regard. It's just that you have to stop, get them when they're not moving. So it's always a little bit hit and miss. You can do things to try and help it, like aim at the guy who's on the front of the pack, that helps, but like there's not a whole lot of control you have over whether or not you're going to get one of these juicy hits here. This BR here going to get killed, which was getting hurt by the things. He's got microwave emitter, that's so good. No, that's Frosty. Oh, he can tech it though, he can tech it if he just gets a bit more money. But yeah, like you gotta be launching air here, this is the time, you know? These guys are retiring. Frosty's definitely making this like a end of the game type of play. He's got the cruise missile too, so I mean if you send a ground force, it's liable to just get sniped. So you gotta be launching air here. This is the more time goes on, the more anti-air he's got. If Weebs has this in the bag, he's just not picking the bag up, you know? Eventually it's gonna get out of the bag, you know what I'm saying? Artifacts are in the hold now. That's a lot of anti-air. It's looking scary. Cruise missiles on the carrier right as the BC pops out. That's pretty unfortunate. And you gotta just... Yeah, you gotta be launching these things. I think this is too late, but we'll see what he can do. These AAVs need to be moving out this way, though. That's for sure. If MWE is more powerful than Gal Barrage, I don't think so, because it's just the... No, this is the wrong target. You don't care about these. You care about the artifacts. Oh, no, he's throwing... Oh no. Oh no. Rip in pieces, dude. This is the end of an era. Microwave emitter! He's gonna back away! Okay, this buys him a little bit more time. He's losing bombers, though. Oh my gosh, he lost a bunch of BCs, too. That was kind of a bad fight for him to take. Oh, man. Yeah, I know, it's gotta be over. Yeah, I think he could have. He only needs to get one of them after all. And I think actually both of them would have made it. Oh no. It's a throw, my guys. Oh no. I'm deeply saddened by this. In fact, he's just gonna win by carrier kill anyway. Darn. Now we can learn some important lessons from this, friends. First off, Savant BCs I think are going to be better if they're in good positions, like up here on the high ground, deep here, like get them down there where they have, you know, they can utilize the range, because you got to be able to hit the BCs as they're coming toward you. Coalition battle cruisers have a surprisingly long range. I think you can range like, it's 1,200 meters, yeah, so it's probably like this far. So I mean, you know, you can't just rely on like, oh, I have more range then. Like, you really got to use that. You got to be really careful about how you do it. Second thing, if you have supremacy in some area, your opponent's going to cover it. So you got to attack them as fast as you can, get that damage done, right? If bombers were launching, strike fighters were launching, while Frosty was just kind of chilling over here with no anti-air, these two artifacts would have been sniped. We would have lost, you know, the missile batteries right when they came out. We would have been losing BCs. And ultimately, I think that could have, on its own, killed this carrier, to be honest. So, just, how am I going to say it? Proactivity, you know? Game sense, that could have definitely avoided this loss. It's a pity, you know? It's a pity. But it is what it is. So the series will go 2-0 to FrostyTeeth. And that's all I have to say about that. Frosty will be in the upper bracket. God Hates Weebs, unfortunately, will not. And that is starting, like, a couple hours ago. So...